You've had a very solid season so far and really made your presence known in the big leagues. What's really been the difference for you this year?
I'd say confidence has been one of my major things that's been different this year as opposed to last year and even my previous season. And just going out there and trying to win the game and play the game the right way.
You didn't have the easiest road coming up, right? Going to the minor leagues, some injuries. That could be difficult for a young guy. How did you mentally get through those injuries to get here?
I think the biggest thing about my injuries was that they were a learning process. I think to a degree, when you're able to go out there and be healthy every day, you kind of take the game for granted for what it means to you. And I think for me, being able to be hurt sidelined me, and I think it was good for my development because it just allowed me to understand how much I love the game of baseball and just what I needed to do, not necessarily on the field, but what I needed to do to take care of my body, what I needed to do to sleep right, to eat right, just to make sure that I never really had to go through it again.
Watching you in games in the dugout when you're not starting is, I think, enjoyable for a lot of people around baseball. All your clips are on Twitter. What gives you that childlike enthusiasm for your teammates, and where did that really stem from?
I think it's me just trying to do my job to the best of my ability. I think as a starting pitcher or anybody that's not going to be in the game every day, I want the boys to know that, like, I'm still in the trenches with you. Like, you guys got to come to the field and grind. Like, I'm not out here just kind of rolling around. Like, I want to let the boys know that I'm here.
I know family is really important to you. You have a job as being a starting pitcher in the big leagues for the Guardians, but also as big brother. Your brother TJ's playing at Vandy. What was it like to compete against him all the time? In that battle of you versus him, who has the edge?
Right now, I have the edge. I think I've only faced him maybe his freshman and sophomore years in high school. Kind of just interact with my brother on the little brotherly levels that aren't baseball related, and I think when it comes to our baseball relationship, it's just that much more heightened because I think we're able to share information in a way that not everybody is able to do on the baseball field.
Or you hear about growing the game a lot these days, and I know you've been doing your camp back at home for 5 years, going into the 6th year this off season, and it's a free camp, for kids out there. Why was that so important to you to, give back to your community, but make it free? Because we know baseball isn't the most, the cheapest sport out there.
I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to my camp is just providing kids with a safe place to come and enjoy themselves, and even if they're not super big into baseball, they can come learn about the game so that they can enjoy it for themselves when it's in passing, and they can just come out and have a good time.
CC Sabathia is a guy that you've gotten to know over the years, and when people think about Cleveland baseball, he is one of the giants. How have you kind of learned from him, a guy who's done it at every level and likely going to be a Hall of Famer?
And I think just the interactions we've had over the past couple of years, where when I first meet CC, I'm overjoyed and kind of a little kid in a candy store. Can't wait to tell him how much I looked up to him growing up, and just all this little stuff like, you're one of my favorite players. And one of the first things he ever said to me was like, dude, I'm a huge fan of you. And it just kind of blew my mind to see how some of the people that came before me really just pay attention to the game now and look at guys like me or look at guys around the league and are really invested in their careers.
You talk about those people that came before you, and you have definitely heard about the black aces over the years, CC being one of those guys. You don't see a lot of black starting pitchers in the big leagues anymore. How important is it for you to be a representation for other generations, kids at your camp who say, I want to pitch in the big leagues one day?
I think representation is huge for kids at all levels, but I think for young black kids especially when me growing up, I didn't necessarily have a ton of role models to look at on the starting pitcher role. But I think for me, going out there and having fun and playing the game the right way and just being a good example for all kids, let alone just black kids, is one of my main influences when I play baseball and go out there and have fun.
So Triston McKenzie has the headphones on before start. What is he listening to?
The song I listen to before I walk out before every single game is called "The Corner" by Future. It's a song I listen to before my debut in terms of just a mindset of where I'm trying to be at. I call "The Corner." That's my go-to song.
And then favorite pair of sneakers that you own? And how many pairs do you own?
I'm probably around 70, 75. Honestly, I'd say like my top 3 favorites. I love like all types of dunks. I love Jordans, but like my top 3 favorites, I have the Grinch Kobe's, I got the Mambasitas, and I got his final All-Star Game Kobe's, and those are probably my 3 favorite shoes.
You are very introspective, you're a deep thinker, and I think for a lot of people out there, it's just like, oh man, Triston didn't have to do this. So I'm gonna ask you, if you weren't playing in the big leagues, if you weren't playing baseball, where is Triston McKenzie right now?
I want to stay on an island somewhere and drink. No, I'm just kidding. Growing up, I very much enjoyed helping people, and my goal when I was very little was to be a doctor. I wanted to be a heart surgeon just because with both my parents being in the medical field, I was very interested in the body, and it kind of came naturally to me in terms of just how stuff worked, and I thought the heart was the center of it all, and it's more just why not try to start people with the core of their body. It is something I'd be interested in. I just don't know. Hopefully my big league career lasts forever and I don't even have to worry about it.